Kevin McCarthy calling Congress back a day early to vote on the Republican tax bill going to conference. Leader McCarthy joins us this morning. You know what, Leader, I apologize. I didn't believe you. Why should we, though, after this past year, right? But did it really happen? Did I dream that? Or it really is moving forward, isn't it?
It really happened, and it happened on the timeline we said it would. That's why we decisively moved. The House was not supposed to be in session today, but we called everybody back because we want to move to go to conference. And there are differences in this bill, but they're not that great of differences in this bill. We can work and have this done this year.
That was like a long shot, I think. I mean, people had already pushed it into next year. There's a lot of people. They have a vested interest in it not working, obviously, but there was a good reason to doubt. For even people that were positive on it, there's a good reason to doubt it, given what we've seen recently. You just never know. In fact, when it finally happened and only Corker was lost in the Senate, weren't you kind of surprised? Like, it's hard to believe it actually worked.
Yeah, I never doubted the House, based upon what the House has been able to produce this year. The Senate is difficult. They have a very small margin. They have a lot of different personalities over there. But I give a lot of credit to the leadership of the Senate, to all those senators. I give a lot of credit to this president that actually worked very diligently to get these individuals together, put a lot of time and effort in. We're not finished yet. But the architecture of both bills looks very similar. There's some elements we've got to fix as we move forward. But really why I always believed it would work, because the bill itself. It helps move America, makes us competitive again, helps us produce more of those small businesses. There's more Ken Lagones that are going to go out there and be entrepreneurs and actually change this country and put us on a competitive place.
Congressman, thank you for your compliment. I'm assuming the tax law is a done deal. And I think that's a good bet.
Well, I believe we'll get it done.
To me, I just talked to Senator Capito from West Virginia. When are we going to address the biggest challenge we have as Americans right now, which to me is public education? We've got to fix it. These poor kids that are going to public schools are being gypped. They're being cheated of a future. We won't be able to offer these kids participations in a growing economy if we can't get them with the basic academic skills they need. And I think unless somebody takes leadership here and said, we got to stop this, we got to fix it, nothing's going to happen.
Well, I agree. The workforce of tomorrow. We're living through the fourth industrial revolution. And it's not that I'm worried about who my kids compete with, maybe somebody from New York or somewhere else. I'm worried about our kids competing against India, China.
You're absolutely right.
They're not best prepared for it. But it's not just in the elementary, it's also in the higher education, too. You look what's happening with Udacity and other places.
Yeah. Well, I'll settle right now for getting kids out of high school that can read and write and count, okay? I'm not trading big. I'm saying give me those kids that I can take and say, here's an opportunity. You can read, you can write, you can count, you can do this job. And then go from there and watch these kids blossom. We have that experience at Home Depot. 400,000 people, they're flying. It's unbelievable, thank God.
It's our greatest asset in this country.
Yes, it is.
Our future generation.
Yes, it is.
If you watch the focus of what we've been working on here in the House, I think that'll be our next step as we move forward.
God bless you.
You've got to make sure you have that workforce.
Leader McCarthy, let me run you through very quickly. Let's play rapid fire and go through some of the issues that you're going to have to sort out in committee. First of all, the AMT. At the last minute, the Senate bill went ahead and kept the AMT on corporations. That's different from the House bill. How does that work out in conference?
Well, I think that has to be eliminated because that would destroy R&D. If you look, even in the Wall Street Journal had a great story on it this weekend, especially when you look at California, the engine that actually creates from a lot of entrepreneurs and others, that should be eliminated for sure.
Individual rates. The House goes ahead with 4 rates, keeps the top rate at 39.6%. The Senate bill has the top rate at 38.5% and has 7 different rates. Who wins?
Well, I think we can work that out. I would actually like to see the rates even go lower, if possible, from that top rate as well. I don't think anybody should be punished for being successful.
In both cases that you've just pointed to, you're talking about spending more money. Isn't that the problem with the Senate, where they start worrying about deficits?
Well, I worry about deficits, but you're not going to get out of this problem until you grow the economy. Then you've got to look at the entitlements. I mean, mandatory spending in this country is 66% of the entire budget. When Ronald Reagan president, it was just 25%. That is what's on autopilot. But if you're able to grow the economy, what you see happening right now, it's easier to tackle the future problems and get rid of this deficit.
Mortgage interest deduction. The Senate goes ahead and keeps that cap at $1 million. The House bill has it at $500,000. Which comes out on top?
Well, I think we would have to adjust there, especially being from California, knowing the prices, homes and others. I'm one who would actually let that move a little higher.
In terms of the estate tax, it looks much more similar than it had before, talking about increasing the amount, the Senate bill eventually sunsetting where they put those things. But what do you think that looks like in the end?
Well, I think we will find a common ground in there. I don't think people should be continued taxed after they die, but we'll find a common ground to get this done.
Timeline is when do you think you actually see it signed by President Trump? Later.
I think we can get this signed before the end of this year for sure. I'd like to do it faster. That's why we moved decisively to call the House back today, take that vote to go to conference. We can start the work. The Senate will take that, the vote as well. And I think these differences are not that great. We both wrote to the same number. We both have some of the same elements. But as you read about it, the things you asked me about the differences, you know we could find common ground. We're not that far away on both of those. The number of rates, yeah, we'll get there, but the rates are very close. When you look at AMT, we know that punishes research and development and the future of this country. So I think we could find a way that we pay and eliminate that as well.
Just real quick, we got to go, but you worried about the House in 2018? And it's weird, isn't it? If the GDP keeps going at 3%, and the market's up, a third in a year, is that, with this tax reform, is that going to be enough to stem some of the losses, do you think, or does it always happen in that election, the 2 years after an election?
They always talk about the first year of an election after the party in power winning the presidency that is not positive on that. When I look at the end of the day, if we don't worry about the election, that we put people before the politics, and we actually get this economy moving again, give greater opportunity, I think we'll have a pretty good election there. And I think when the American public looks, do they want to bring Nancy Pelosi back as Speaker? I think we'll do quite well.
You stay focused like that, and you're right. People vote with their wallet.
Yeah. Don't worry about the election. Worry about the economy, jobs, and the education of this country, and I think the election will turn out just fine.
All right, great. Leader McCarthy, thanks for coming on today. We'll see you again soon.
Nice seeing you again.
Thanks a lot.